I'm joined here today by the one, the only. It is, of course, Eryk Anders that take on Darren Stewart coming up in March. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Man, doing nothing much, man. Just hanging out, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and we were talking about it off camera, but last time we talked, you were rocking this beautiful curly mullet, full quarantine, set to fight in Florida, and now people get to see the mullet's gone. Like we've gone for a more strategic haircut this time around.
Not really strategic, just easier to maintain. Like I was telling you, I wear the gi a pretty good bit, and when people start reaching in the collar and grabbing my hair too, then it's got to go. So it doesn't mean that much to me, and it's growing back nice and full, so I can go back to it again if I want to.
I feel like a lot of people when they have the big beard, especially someone like Tanner Bozer, who we know him for that long, flowing, heavyweight mullet. He was having that issue too, where everybody's grabbing on everything they can. So I assume you get to a point where it's got to be tiring every single time people are trying to grab onto what you have in the back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not an intentional thing, so it's just kind of there. Just like when I played football and people have the hair hanging out of their thing. Hey, that's part of their jersey, as far as I'm concerned. I'm I'm not intentionally pulling your hair or whatever, but if it's out there and I'm trying to collar choke you or sweep you or something, and I grab your hair too, that's on you.
There you go. That's your fault. I saw a video on Facebook that made me laugh the other day. Your coach Eddie Shaw released a video for the betting thing, and it had you and Curtis Millender in the back. It seemed pretty painful for you guys because you guys were sitting, I believe it was on your knees, and you guys had to wait for him to get through it. What's going on in your mind like the whole time you have to shoot that video, and your whole thing is just sit in the back and don't say anything?
Um, yeah, we just back there looking like the muscle. Um, Man, I don't know. I do jujitsu. I can sit on my feet, for a pretty good while. So it's not like I was uncomfortable or anything. It was definitely over a minute though. I
Yeah.
told us it'd only be a minute. It was definitely over.
But that's the funny thing is that he did have the muscle. He's in the middle, and then you got boom the two guys, you and Curtis. Like there was definitely some strategic stuff going on with that video.
I think Charles just kind of trying to look a little extra intimidating. I don't know.
There we go, man. Is that the new training camps? I know you're kind of all over the place. We see you sometimes in Alabama. I know at one point you were in Colorado. What's kind of going on with the training camp?
Man, I came out here in the summertime, really gelled and meshed with everybody really well. Um, Love working with Eddie Charles, Santino, Angel Cejudo, Allen. Just man, they have a whole. Um, there's never many places where there's this many coaches with this much knowledge, um, and the ability to articulate the technique. Because I think that sometimes that's the hardest part from coach to you know player or fighter or whatever is how and why. And they do a really good job of getting that across, showing the technique, and not only that, but showing me stuff that works for me. You know, um, you know, my jab is different, my cross is different. It's not at the end of the day it's the same, but there's little differences. That I do with my technique that somebody else may not do with theirs. So they like make it work for me instead of like a cookie cutter like jab cross hook. Nah, you're probably better off jab hook cross. I don't know, just an example, but not everything for every fighter should be done the same way.
And so, is this a permanent switch for you? Or is this kind of one of those things where you kind of have to see it out with a fight and then kind of see like going down the line if this is the right move for you?
Man, to be honest, I've been here for 2 weeks, and man, I feel really good about the preparation and where we're going, the the progress that I'm making and stuff. So, yeah, it's probably a permanent thing for me.
So I'm taking a look at your hoodie, and just from where I'm at, who's on your hoodie? Is that Devonte Smith?
Yeah, it's Devontae Smith, man. He had that. I really like the Afro Samurai kind of theme that he got going on there. So, yeah, I had to cop that.
I was looking at it. I was trying to figure out. I was like, either there's someone that looks a lot like Devonte Smith, or that is straight up Devonte Smith on that hoodie.
Yeah, it's a shout out to Devontae.
Where can we get one? I mean, obviously, I know like all I have to do is reach out. I get one for free. But for the regular person, any idea where we can cop one of those?
Man, you can hit up Devontae. I don't know how many or what sizes he has left or whatever, but if you shoot Devontae Smith a DM about the hoodie, I'm sure he'll get back to you.
There we go. I'll have to do the little thing where I try to ask for a promo code. Maybe he'll give me a free shaker bottle to go with it, like we do with the supplement companies. Get something
Maybe
like
a
that.
keychain.
Yeah, keychain. There we go. Listen, so you're taking on Darren Stewart, who's a pretty big name in your return fight. What was your reaction when your management or whoever it was told you, Darren Stewart's the next guy for you?
Okay, that's about it. Man, I respect Darren. I don't know him that well. Just through social media and stuff. Seems like a good guy, family guy. So man, for me, man, this game, there's nothing personal about it. It's a business transaction. I'm contracted to go in there and fight whoever it is that's standing across that cage, and before and after we can be cool. But during, and I'm sure he feels the same way, dude. But during, it's war. And I'm trying to get him out of there, as I'm sure he's trying to do me. So, it's just the nature of the beast.
So for the people that were hoping for the trash talk, 'cause he calls himself the dentist, right? We're not going to get some big, the dentist, I'm coming to pull your teeth out or anything like that. We can't expect anything crazy like that.
Nah, I don't know. I'm just pretty cool, chilled, and laid back, and I really don't engage with that kind of stuff unless they engage with me first, and then it's just it's fun to me. But yeah, and then to say something like that would be kind of cheesy, cliche. Oh, I'm gonna knock his teeth out. He's gonna need to go see the dentist. The fight take care of itself, and he's will do the talking.
I mean, you just kind of shit on my parade a little bit. I'm up here coming up with these fire lines for you, Eryk, and then you're right here telling me it's kind of cheesy. Like, it's just no preparation coming up off the top of my head, man. Like, I'm feeding you prime game here for,
Man,
when
look,
you
what
want to
you
start
gotta
that
do
social
is,
media trash talk.
man, you gotta write it down and then revise it, rehearse it, get in the mirror, and then boom. I'm never gonna prepare for something like that. So if it doesn't just come off the tip of my, just boom, then I'm probably not gonna say it.
It sounds like a fighter we're all familiar, right? Colby Covington. Everybody accuses him of having somebody write his lines for him, practicing it in the mirror and stuff like that. Like, I don't think we can expect anything like that from you, could we?
Nah, not at all. I'm a pretty authentic person, so um, what you see is what you get. I don't feel like I need to do any of that, because when I go out there, I'm about that business. So I think that's what people kind of they see more than what they hear. You know what I mean? So a lot of people go out there and talk that nonsense, and then they don't put out there, and you're just talking.
So let me ask you, man, you do a lot of these interviews and you do a ton of media before your fights, after your fights and stuff like that. What's the question you get the most? Like, is it football? Is the football stuff like the most common question you usually get?
I think football and why did I start MMA? And I think that's
Yeah.
fair because I think that everybody want to knows like the origins, like why did you decide to get in the cage and you know punch people and let them punch you? Um, it's like an intriguing question, like what was on your mind when you decided to do that? But the truth is, it was never really on my mind. I just went to a gym, started training, doing some jujitsu. Got kind of bored with that. Wanted to, spice it up a little bit more, and started doing MMA and fell in love with it. And that's the reason why.
There we go. We asked the question without asking it. Does football, did that bring you any kind of advantage in MMA? Like, I assume maybe coachability, stuff like that. I guess toughness, right? People always talk about the toughness. Like, did it actually bring any advantage, or is that just people are trying to combine things that aren't that much alike?
Man, especially playing linebacker, I think there's a certain amount of toughness and grit that you have to be down there in those trenches. And I think that that's like something that naturally occurs with me. I didn't need to be taught that. I just just a dog, period. And but that kind of puts you in those situations like day in and day out, like you have to compete against one person. Whether it be the offensive lineman or maybe you have to make a tackle or guard a receiver or something. There's a lot of one-on-one matchups in a football play that a lot of people don't see. So um, it is a team sport, but like everybody has their job, right? You know, so I guess in that respect, they're similar.
Darren Stewart last time he took on Kevin Holland. A lot of people thought maybe Darren won that fight. Some people agreed with the Kevin Holland scorecard. Have you gotten to that point in your camp where you're watching tape and sort of you've watched that fight? Like, are you able to comment at all on who you thought won?
Man, I remember watching the fight. Like, I wasn't there live, but I watched it live. You know, well, and I thought Darren Stewart had won the fight. Um, that too is part of the fight game. I too feel like I've been on the wrong side of decisions. Um, I know that's really probably going to bother him pretty good bit. Because that guy, he got fighter of the year. All this thing, 5 fights, yada yada yada. But he really didn't. He really didn't win 5 fights. I felt like Darren Stewart won the fight. Even Kevin Holland feels like that. Darren Stewart won the fight. So you know, uh, he's probably gonna be a little upset that Kevin Holland got some of his shine. Definitely upset that he lost half his money. So do you think that he's gonna come in there
Yeah,
March 3rd? Doubtful.
for sure. That makes sense. Listen, one last question for you. Kind of an easy one, an obvious one, but how do you see yourself getting your hand raised out there?
Man, I just every time I close my eyes at night, I see us in the middle of the cage exchanging. I think I got the better chin, and man, we've seen my durability and being able to take shots and keep moving forward. So, uh, not that I'm going out there with relying on my chin or nothing like that, but I think if it does become a firefight, I'm the more durable, harder hitting guy. Um, so I think I leave with my hand raised via KO or TKO.
All right, there we go. I know everyone's looking forward to it. I was very excited when they announced this fight next for you guys. Listen, thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Hey, appreciate it, brother. Thank you.